Hello and welcome to the Talkin Bits podcast. It's Michael Rose with Don't Tell Tri-Cities.
That's me.
I'm the owner.
Oh,
of
it's you.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
Yes.
We've switched roles.
And here is Nathaniel Booher, who...
Right. Proud father of one.
Yeah.
Proud father of a baby OJ.
Yep.
Yes. If you all would like to buy a house, please.
She does love you more than me, so...
If you guys could just please, quick reminder, visit Moving to JC.
Oh, I haven't posted on that in a while.
And if you'll just leave
I wonder if anybody...
real estate questions.
I honestly wonder if anybody has done that because I haven't checked that. I've been like so busy doing that not movie draft. I'm not even doing a draft. The show bracket.
Yeah. That's getting a lot of heat. It's
dude.
Moving.
Yeah, this one. I got to make a tough decision today.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was Parks and Rec versus Ted Lasso.
Wow. It's like a real Rosemary's Baby kind of situation.
And it was dead tied, and then somebody cheated. And somebody
cheated.
Parks and Rec got ahead. Okay.
How do they cheat in a Facebook poll?
Somebody they voted for Ted Lasso, and they went to their business page, looked me up, and then tried to vote again. So I don't know who. I think Parks and Rec is still winning right now, but it's like
that feels like
vote.
That'd be very easy to track down.
Oh, so easy.
And eliminate.
And they're friends with my wife, and they took a screenshot of it and sent it to her. And Kayla was like,
"Is that cheating though, or is that just using your resources?"
It's cheating.
Okay.
A comedian kind of cheated. I don't know if she meant to,
it.
and I'm not counting her second vote either.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
They probably meant to.
Anyway.
I swear, you can't even have a fair election in this country anymore.
You really
it's
can't.
Fucking unbelievable.
I'm trying to get away from
all these people mailing in their votes. This
trying
Facebook
to get away
poll.
from it and like trying to do something honest. Trying to do what the founding fathers wanted with this fucking Facebook poll.
I heard Michael Rose has connections to Russia. That's what I heard, that the voting system is actually influenced by Vladimir Putin. That's
they are. He's a very big investor into him.
They stole the election.
Yeah. That's, dude, I'm honestly, okay, so I think Parks and Rec is going to win, and those Ted Lasso people are going to fucking burn my house down.
Telling you, they're going to storm the Capitol.
Dude, those Ted Lasso people are about to storm the Capitol.
Jump the wall in a fucking buffalo hat and jump in your living room.
Yeah. And honestly, I get it. I get it. Ted Lasso's a good show.
People are passionate.
Ted Lasso's just one vote shy of being a good show.
I have been surprised at some of the results. Honestly, I have.
Really? I have not so far.
There was one a couple of weeks ago that I was like, "Huh, that's interesting." Or a couple days ago.
Yeah, there was one that I was surprised. The only thing I've been surprised on truly is how little votes some things are getting.
Yeah.
And I mean that with love. Like,
I knew Dick Van Dyke Show was going to get
destroyed.
Yeah.
Like,
which is a shame because it is a very great show. But
I was surprised.
It kind of shocked me that you didn't have Andy Griffith in this poll because I think it would dominate.
The Drew Carey Show got one vote, and I think that was a joke.
I would agree with that. I don't know who gives a fuck about the Drew Carey Show.
I was surprised. How few votes Frasier got. We got 11.
Yeah, that's the one that shocked me, I think. What was that?
It was up against Arrested Development. I knew Arrested Development was going to win, but I was surprised. Yeah, the Dick Van Dyke Show went up against Fresh Prince and got 6 votes. Fresh Prince got 35.
That's more than I thought, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I thought it would just be
30 Rock was like, dude.
Oh, yeah.
30 Rock went up against The Office.
Yeah.
And 30 Rock lost 61-4.
I'm surprised it got 4, really. I mean, The Office is going to probably win the whole bracket.
It's going to go up against... If Parks and Rec ends up winning, whatever wins today between Parks and Rec and Ted Lasso is going to go up against The Office.
That's funny.
And
it might just be the same old argument of Parks and Rec.
And that's honestly kind of what I wanted.
All of this for the same argument.
That's what started the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah.
You know what kind of made me feel really bad? The day of the hurricane hitting, which we do have to talk about.
There was a hurricane?
Shut up. Yeah. The day of the hurricane hitting, the last post I made about it was The Cosby Show versus Family Matters. So...
yeah,
that's the one that was sitting up there for a while.
Sure was.
Cosby Show got 4 votes, and it got 3 angries, which is one more than normal. Because normally it's only 2 angries.
Yeah,
you and Joe.
Yeah,
Johnny gave us an angry on that one.
Oh, good.
I get it.
He's upset.
Yeah, he was upset that
he's upset that he can no longer openly support his favorite stand-up comedian, Bill Cosby.
I get it. Yeah,
I'm with him.
We'll finish up the bracket thing because that's just my life right now. We got a couple good matchups coming up. How I Met Your Mother versus Big Bang Theory. My vote's on Big Bang on that one.
I hate both, but
I don't really like either of them, truth be told. But I just Modern Family versus Golden Girls. I don't know how that one's gonna go.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah,
that's a very generational thing.
I think Modern Family should win, but
that feels like that one's gonna be like actual entertainment value versus.
What'd you watch at your
nostalgia.
grandma's house when you were 7?
Yeah, nostalgia.
Workaholics versus Schitt's Creek.
I feel like Schitt's Creek will
100% is going to win. And then we have New Girl versus That 70s Show. I could see that going either way, but I think New Girl's going to win. Schitt's
Creek might be your sleeper on this one. It might come in and actually cause a real disruption. People love that show.
It'll meet. I'm gonna just go ahead and say Parks and Rec won because I think they did.
But
it's gonna meet Parks and Rec in the semifinals.
Yeah.
Schitt's
Creek is one of those shows that I have an awareness of despite never watching it. Like it's that.
You watched it? Dude, I'm rewatching it right now.
Well, my mom loves it, and I've seen in passing she's tried to like expose me to it and stuff, and it is. I've laughed at it for sure, but I've never taken the time to sit down and watch it. But I mean, if I have an awareness of it, it's got to be pretty beloved.
Dude, I do love
so tuned out.
If it beats Parks and Rec, okay. So here, Parks and Rec's like my favorite.
I don't know if it will.
Let me say this: Parks and Rec is my favorite. I'm actually okay if Ted Lasso beats Parks and Rec, and I'm okay if it loses to Schitt's Creek.
Interesting.
That's how I feel about both of the shows.
Interesting.
On the following week, or the other side of the bracket, New Girl, That 70s Show could go either way. Friends versus Family Matters. Friends.
Yeah.
Office versus Fresh Prince. Office. Arrested Development versus It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I could see going either way, but I think it's going to be It's Always Sunny.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
And then that'll be...
Those two shows are almost identical for me, just in how much I enjoy both of them. Like, I have watched both of them. I don't particularly look forward to sitting down and rewatching both of them. Like,
Arrested Development, if it wasn't for when Netflix bought it, I'd have loved it, but Netflix bought it, fucked it up for me.
I don't know if I saw those seasons.
Oh, well, then you saw the best part of the show then, if you didn't see those seasons. And It's Always Sunny. I like It's Always Sunny, but I just can't binge it. The only thing I remember
from Arrested Development is Carl Weathers' character, because he makes me laugh so much. And that's just being Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's probably the first season that he's in, the first couple episodes that I remember. Like, I remember there's one scene where somebody's eating a chicken wing, and Carl Weathers walks up and he's like, "There's some more meat on that bone. You gonna eat that?" And then he like finishes their chicken wing, and he's like, "You can't leave meat on."
Arrested Development is like a sleeper show. It truly is.
Yeah, it's funny.
But yeah, so like I think the semis on the right side of the bracket will be The Office versus Friends.
That's a tough. That'll be a battle for sure.
Yeah, the only thing that could make it Friends not in it is New Girl, and I don't see New Girl. I just don't see New Girl beating Friends.
You know, because this is a stand-up show, maybe you should do a stand-up bracket next.
Stand-up comedian bracket.
What could be interesting is if you do like Mount Rushmore, and so everybody gets to pick 4, and then you get the highest picked of everybody's 4 to make an ultimate 4. You know,
that's just. I mean, I could do that. The next bracket I'm doing. So this ends. I think this ends on Election Day, since I took a couple days off from the hurricane.
Of course it does.
I think it truly does, and that was complete accident.
You heard it here first.
That was a complete. So initially it was going to end on Halloween.
Vladimir Putin.
Initially it was going to end on Halloween.
Sure it was.
And then I took a couple days off because I didn't want to flood. So for those of you
Can't
not
say
here,
flood.
Oh fuck, that was a very poor choice of words. For those of you who don't know, our area was hit by a hurricane, and I didn't want to flood social media with shut the fuck up.
He said it again.
I didn't want to overwhelm social media with this stupid little bracket. Because I had it doing daily, and so I took like 3 or 4 days off.
I love how you think your bracket's overwhelming social media.
No, but I didn't want to take away. I didn't want to take away from like posts that were actual like helpful, and stuff like that.
Because that's true. If you're scrolling and you're like, "Man, Irwin's gone." Oh, fucking Ted Lasso? Are you serious?
Yeah, I didn't want to take away, so I did take a couple days.
Yeah.
And so because of that couple of days, I'm pretty sure it does end on either November 4th, which is the day before Election Day, or November 5th, which is Election Day.
Very convenient.
But anyway, so Friends versus Office. The only other thing could be New Girl versus The Office, but then New Girl has to beat Friends. Friends is I don't see The Office losing against It's Always Sunny. I just don't.
I think it's probably The Office and Friends in the finale.
They'll be semis. They're on the same side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, and then the semis on the left side of the bracket, it'll be Parks and Rec and Schitt's Creek. Pretty confident in that.
How many flood jokes you think there were at the open mic this week?
Oh God, an offensive amount.
A lot.
Yeah.
I don't think Greg was there, so a little bit less.
Hunter Roberts. Well, we need to talk about the Don't Tell show, of course. But Hunter Roberts. So we did the you had that Don't Tell show in the cavern.
Yeah.
Hunter Roberts got on stage or got on rock.
On rock.
Yeah, got on the rug.
That's
that
literally
was like,
what I was gonna say.
Yeah, got on the rock. Yeah,
He got on rock.
He got on rock and said, "How the fuck does this cave have more power than my house does?" And that made me laugh so hard. It's true.
I didn't hear him say it.
Yeah, it was very true. It made me laugh.
I didn't know. I have a pre-show playlist that is it's a true representation of me. I mean, it's all over the place, but it's all good songs for like before a show. You know, like songs that everybody likes or like motivating song, whatever. Anyway, so I just hit shuffle while we were setting up in the cave, and there's nobody else down there. We were there like 2 hours early, and it was just playing. And like, I swear to God, I don't know what Spotify was doing, but the first song that played was "When the Levee Breaks" by Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And then the next one was "Ocean Man" by Ween. And I was like, okay, this is getting insane. And I'm pretty sure "Who'll Stop the Rain" by CCR played at one point. It was very unintentional on my part, but Spotify was on one for sure.
One of my favorite.
Hunter was like, what the fuck?
That's a good Hunter Roberts.
That's not bad.
Yeah. One of my favorite moments of the entire Don't Tell show happened before the show started. And it was when we were all down there. Like I was down there, me and Kayla were down there with like all of the comics, and we just like walked through a little bit. And Brandy gets there. And y'all gaslit the fuck out of Brandy.
I didn't know what she was saying.
Y'all were
that was very fun.
So Brandy was like was concerned with like the caving in.
Okay. Here, two things. First of all, before we start this story, because number one, I don't see color. Okay, this is where I want to start. And so
there's nothing to do with Brandy's race on this.
Yes,
one.
there is. Because for me to assume that she was scared of being in a cavern would be racist. That's what I'm trying to put out
I don't
there.
think that's racist. I think just a normal person.
I don't think so. I think that she made several comments
That's
about
not a
how this is
stereotype
some
I've ever
white
heard.
people shit. That she literally kept
It
saying.
is white people shit to be
Right.
exploring caves. I will give her that.
So I didn't in my head go, she's not white, so she's probably uncomfortable. I didn't do that. Okay, I didn't say it out loud. And so then she started talking. She just kept saying, "I'm nervous." She was pacing around going, "I'm nervous," and I was like, "You're gonna do great. It's gonna be fine." And she was like, "Fuck you, motherfucker! I'm not nervous about the show. I'm nervous that we're under 90 feet of soil right now. We are down here." And I was like, "Oh, why didn't you just say that?"
No. I had to tell you what she was saying.
It was very funny. Yeah.
Y'all were gaslighting the
I was like,
fuck
why didn't
out
you
of
just
her.
say you're freaking the fuck out? And she was like, I am. I'm scared. I was like, oh.
That's funny. And then she got on stage and like acknowledged it, like said it all. That was very funny. That was
Everybody was funny. Yeah.
You know what was like the craziest part? Like she was making a good point. She was like, "Has there ever been anything like this down here?" And you're like, "No, this is the first thing." And she was like, "What about like the reverb, like all this stuff?"
She was worried about the ceiling caving in.
I was also. That's why I sat in the back. I'm gonna be honest with you. I sat in the
quick
back
exit?
so I could fucking get out of there. Listen,
No, it was fine. Man.
I'm not.
They
I'm
have
not.
hundreds of screaming school kids down there all the time. It's fine.
I'm not saving your ass.
Kids jumping around.
You
Let
know
me
what I
go, honestly.
Yeah.
Let me go. No, so we did it. We did the cavern show. And I'll say, truly, that Sunday morning I woke up and Haley was like, "So what now?" And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I didn't think we'd
God damn it.
Close enough.
Fucked it up.
I was just like, I didn't think we'd make it this far. You know, like that's been my goal since before I got.
Now we need to do. I got one for you. Another cavern show. Okay. Same place.
Okay.
But like, it's what? Say it again. Just one more.
Flood.
No,
Go.
No. Say that letter one more time.
That's all right.
All right. Okay. You're
I'm gonna leave it with a 3.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The big 3. Anyways. Okay. Moving on. Moving on.
Yeah, you really are a Tennessee native. Anyway, so the next show, the next
just reading Michael's sweatshirt over there. That's
a North Carolina thing.
Rip. Got him. No, I want to say this too because we kind of mentioned the hurricane a little bit, and we kind of mentioned the flood, and that's true. And it's very for anybody who hasn't seen it. I think pretty much the whole nation has fucking seen it now. I mean, it's on national level news. There's a lot of devastation. There's a ton of sadness and just sorrow. But I personally like to find the light in these dark times and these situations. And I read the other day that I-26, the road from Johnson City to Asheville may not be repaired until next September.
Jeez, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That
and
makes sense.
my in-laws live in Asheville, so
Yeah, it is very.
I'm saying it's not all bad. Like there's a little.
That was funny.
I'm just saying there's a little hope.
No, but like, and I do want to take a second, like, no jokes and everything, and if you can donate to the cause, or if you can volunteer, you don't have to volunteer, you don't have to donate to show your support. Just sharing resources for people who were affected.
Have you seen all this shit with?
I do want to talk about the conspiracies if that's what you're bringing up.
Well, yeah, we'll go there too.
Yeah.
But even just some of the like the FEMA stuff or like the Red Cross stuff that they're saying.
I do want to talk about all that.
Yeah, I have a very interesting perspective on it too, so I'll share that. But yeah.
Just so much is sharing. Like we were joking about it earlier. The reason I quit sharing the bracket that I'm doing is because I didn't want to take away from like actual helpful stuff. You
didn't want to flood social media.
I didn't want to. Yeah, that was such a poor choice. I did not think about that. But there is many ways that you can
this
donate.
One's really going to be a wash. Am I right?
There's many ways that you can support the cause, whether it be through donations, volunteering, anything. And for the love of God, quit sharing conspiracy theories. Like
I say, keep sharing.
It affected a lot of areas in Eastern Tennessee and Western North Carolina. I think Kentucky was slightly affected too.
Even if every conspiracy theory that's being spread around is true, the devastation still happened.
Exactly.
Like there's still real world problems to solve.
Exactly. Yeah. And it has been very cool. This is the first time that I would imagine this area has ever been affected this severely by a hurricane.
Yeah.
And it's been very cool to see just the community like band together and like, Blue Ridge just did a hurricane relief show. That was very cool. I've seen a lot of places do like, just like hurricane donations to like the relief and stuff like that. Like, it's been very cool.
Have you seen that the Cajun Navy is up here too?
The what is? I'm sorry.
They're called the Cajun Navy. It's like a group of Cajun dudes. They're from Louisiana, but they're a mule team, and they're using mules to deliver supplies deep up there. Yeah, I mean they're going up there.
Yeah,
I saw a video of them delivering insulin to a diabetic man who had been stranded for like a week, and they went on mule. It has
been awesome to see, and like this is a comedy podcast. We're traumatized, and we're not taken away from anything.
Yeah, we don't want to flood social media.
We're not.
I agree with Michael Rose.
We're not taking away.
We don't want to flood social media.
We're not taking away anything from what happened. Just know that.
No, I mean we still have to do.
Just know that we both were affected. I'm
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah.
And so my
girlfriend's whole family lost power. Some of them lost property. Lost.
Yeah.
Water damage. Scary. It's very scary.
And so just know that we'll talk about it. I do want to talk about some of the stuff that has came up after it, but like just know that like we don't take it lightly, and just my heart and both of our hearts are out to everyone who was affected, more so than us, especially.
Also, I'll say real quick, he was supposed to be on the show many times and has not been. But if you know us, if you're friends of the show, you probably know our friend Ryan Gordon, who is a comedian in Asheville. We have several friends over there.
Yep.
Corey Day, he's Charlotte now, but he's from there. A lot of friends over there. And Ryan in particular, I would recommend following him if you are interested.
A lot.
Ryan Gordon Comedy, I believe it is, on TikTok.
I think so. Oh, I'm not on TikTok.
His TikTok is interesting because whenever he gets service over there, he's actually managed to go live a couple times, I think, and is posting a lot of videos of the first day or two after just walking around. I mean, the devastation is
Asheville
unreal.
was hit arguably the hardest.
It's unreal, yeah.
Arguably the hardest.
Chimney Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Chimney Rock is just gone.
Yeah.
Legitimately, have you seen, I mean, there was a town, and now there's not.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. Like Newport.
Irwin's pretty bad.
I don't even know. I know Jonesboro was affected, but I don't know what parts of Jonesboro were affected.
Yeah.
I think it was very comparatively very minor.
Well, Jonesboro, as you leave, has that back road along the Nolichucky to Irwin.
Yeah.
And so that whole road has been washed out.
So
that's the way we go.
was I think it was actually, speaking of Corey Day. Speaking of, last time he came and he was on the show, I think he mentioned, he may have been on the podcast, maybe before.
Yeah.
He mentioned what kind of back ass way.
Yeah, that's the way.
Do you get to your house?
So for anybody
and what
listening,
it was that way because like it's through Jonesboro to get here.
Right. So Jonesboro is in an area where there's a mountain pass that leads into Irwin. And in order to take that pass, there is a windy back road, and it's basically a road and the Nolichucky River.
It's a beautiful road.
It's beautiful. And the whole way between this mountain range is just you and the Nolichucky River. And at the start of that road is the dam that failed, and the Nolichucky River flooded. So literally that entire road, what was in the little basin there between two mountains or in a valley, that valley just became a deeper river for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's back down now,
I
but
think so.
the road it's all gone. All the homes, there was a campground there that's gone. There were a couple farms out there.
Dude, what's crazy
that are
about
gone.
that campground, I went to that campground for the first time in my life last month because I was meeting some clients there. And they were like out of town, and they were like coming in and just camping and stuff. And then like we were talking, I was talking to them, and they're like, "Yeah, we looked into it. Like it is. That's how I found out it was gone. It's KOA, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and it's right on that river that the dam failed. So you know, things like that is like so unexpected with the dam failing, and then to see some of the I read the other day. The wording was very specific, but I think they think that Hurricane Helene will be the most financially devastating hurricane of all time, even more than Katrina.
Really?
Yeah, because so many places in this area, like you don't think about the dam failing, right?
Yeah.
And there's certain repairs to be done there.
I've seen some people like comment like, "Why didn't they tell everyone to evacuate?" Blah, blah, blah. Like, and I will say this:
it's just
leading
chaos.
up to the hurricane, everything said stay at home.
Yeah,
because there's going to be flooding.
Well,
and the reason there was so much flooding is like 3-4 days prior, it started raining, and it did not stop till the hurricane got here.
It also, and I didn't understand this really until I read up on it. Apparently, there was a particularly long dry spell before it also, which makes the soil more difficult to absorb any water, and so it's almost hydrophobic. It just pushed all the water to the surface.
And there was like the 3-4 days beforehand, which like this area, people don't realize, like we live in the mountains, and people don't realize we do have floods because there's so many valleys and stuff, but it's never like
this.
Never like that. And the reason they're like stay at home is because people will drive through a flooded area, and then that's what kills them is they get stuck in their car in the flood.
Contaminants also, because like some of the sewage plants were affected, and it's bad.
Grace Cantino shared something I didn't even think about, and I didn't fact check it, but it made sense when I put a second of critical thought to it. But it was like, if you were stuck in any of the flood water, you need to go get a hepatitis shot.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't even think about that. Absolutely. That makes sense.
Yeah, and there's all these, I mean, we could literally do 4 hours on this flood, but there's a lot of very heartbreaking stories about either families that have been lost, or they're still missing people as well. One of them that I heard was an older couple. They got separated, and the man had to break the news to his kids, grandkids, family, all that his wife had been lost. And then later that night, there was a knock at their door, and it was his wife. And she had been in, like, I think rib-high water for 16 hours. God. And her skin was so affected by, I mean, like when you're in the tub too long and you get wrinkly. 16 hours of that, your skin is like basically falling off of it's bad. It's very, very water
and
damage.
It's nasty water too.
The worst. Yeah.
But yeah, like everyone, like all the communication was stay at home because you don't want to get in floods.
Yeah.
And then what happened with the hurricane was like the low. I'm not a meteorologist by any stretch of the word, but like the low pressure on the mountains, like stalled it over eastern Tennessee and western North Carolina. And it lingered, and we'd already been flooding. Yeah. And then wow.
Financially, it seems to be the big thing that I keep hearing too. I mean, obviously there were lives lost. There's a lot of people still hurting, and we'll lose more people as time goes on too, because they can't be reached with supplies, which is, in my opinion, almost more devastating than the losses during the storm. Is that there's people starving. Yeah. But the truth of it is that financially, I mean, that's a long-term impact, especially for towns like Irwin, where their income is not. They don't have a lot of industry.
It was half. I mean, have you been to Irwin since? It was the half of Irwin that's like, for anybody who knows the geography
it's
of
like
this area.
Walmart and
no, Walmart's fine.
Really?
Walmart's fine. It's like the half of Irwin that's like to Johnson City.
Yeah. Right,
fine.
Right.
I mean, they have wind damage, and I'm sure there's damage.
That's kind of unexpected.
Fine.
Yeah.
It's exit 37. That's fine.
Right.
You go past exit 30. You can't not go past exit 37. That's where it's blocked off.
How'd you get up there?
And then after that, and I know what's out there. It's like their downtown area, all that stuff. That's where it was.
Yeah. So speaking of the downtown thing, so they have every year. Really, I would
Apple Festival.
Yeah, I would say the number one moneymaker for the town.
The Apple where they have the Apple Festival is not affected.
Okay.
In the same capacity, because we went to the Apple Festival last year, and that is off exit 37.
Okay.
Past it. I think they used to do it in downtown, but then it got so big,
They did.
and it's not. They didn't do it in downtown last year. I mean, they may be doing it again downtown.
Well, they're not doing it. It's canceled.
Yeah.
For sure. And my mom was actually scheduled to be a vendor there for the first time this year. She does woodwork and resin art and crafts and stuff. And she spent, and this is obviously this is going to maybe come off selfish, but I'm just trying to explain that each person has been affected in a personal way.
In a very interesting way.
By this, because we live an hour from Irwin. I mean, Bristol's close to an hour from Irwin, but my mom, we've gone to that festival for years.
Yeah.
It's been growing. We went last year or 2 years ago, and she said, I want to sell here. I could do very well here. Looking at other similar vendors and stuff, and she's like, I can do this. She invested thousands of dollars in materials, hundreds and hundreds of hours of work over the last few weeks preparing dozens and dozens of different items to sell, and then the festival's canceled.
Yeah.
And now she has all these items. So what she's decided to do is to sell those items, and 50% of all the profit is now donated directly to the town of Irwin. So obviously I'm just saying each person has this weird connection to it. And the number that I heard, I think the official number that the town of Irwin said was this: canceling the festival will cost the town approximately $8 million.
I could see that.
That's what I heard in potential revenue.
Yeah. I do love like our little communities of like, I mean,
I would imagine
rallied,
though
dude.
that once they get back on their feet, they will do something, maybe not a full-scale Apple Festival, but they'll try to do it in the spring or the summer whenever they can, and I think people will support it massively.
Oh,
like I would say they'll make triple whatever they would have,
Yeah, and once Asheville's, back, like, accessible.
Right.
You
and
know
I
what
guess
I mean?
Irwin will probably be accessible a little sooner than the others. Well, mostly because there's no lithium under Irwin, so nobody wants it. So they'll probably.
That's one of the things I want to talk about.
Yeah, let's go there.
All right, let's take a listen. Hearts are out for everyone affected. We're gonna talk about the bullshit that people have been posting on social
I don't know
media.
that it's bullshit. I'll be honest.
Bro,
with you.
geo-engineered fucking hurricane to target the lithium.
I don't think it's a geo-engineered hurricane. I think that for sure, for a fact, cloud seeding is a technology that has been explored and used in the past. It is. 100%. Our government there's documents that
cloud
describe.
seeding is just rain, though. A fucking full-fledged hurricane.
I'm not saying they created it. But the idea that they would capitalize. Let's say that the government had nothing to do with the storm itself. The idea that the government, or that BlackRock in particular, would capitalize on a catastrophe in order to make money doesn't sound unrealistic.
I'm not saying that we have fucking politicians who are capitalizing on it in a very tasteless way in Damascus, Virginia. You guys know who I'm talking about. Anyway.
Mr. Eyeliner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
You know who I'm talking about. That helps.
I thought that was a weird move for him to go there.
Helps nothing.
Not that they weren't, because I know, like, even our friend Joe Bridges lives there. They were very much affected, but I don't know. You have Chimney Rock where there is literally no town. No,
you're just going there because it's affected. Fuck.
Nice.
It's affected bad enough to where like, oh, I'm helping out, but also you're not helping out because you're just fucking taken away from the support effort. Anyway,
he did come
and do what? Take a couple pictures and get the fuck out.
Yes, but he did come, and to me that does matter. Truly.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it pisses me off more than it does anything.
I don't know why. I mean, that's a very busy man, and regardless of politics, I'm not talking about which way you lean. Politics is a tricky game. It's a very busy game. Obviously, there's a billion other things he could have been doing, and he made the time to come there. And Trump came to Asheville too, and I do appreciate that. I really do.
I'll say this: the reason why it pisses me off is they are not helping with the relief effort. Anything that they were doing was just a photo op. But the problem that I have against it, I'm not saying you can't help from afar. Like if they'd have been like,
nobody's helping.
Hey, we're donating. Right. Hey, we're whatever. I'm okay with that.
I'll be honest. I don't know what
showing up.
Yeah.
Bothers me because that adds more because you have to have Secret Service.
You think
have
they're
to
just
have
trying
more traffic.
to get the photo up and say they were here?
That's what it feels like because
and that might be true.
The logistics of getting them here and keeping them safe because they're political candidates. Like they have to have Secret Service.
Right.
I feel like that hurts the efforts more than it helps the efforts. because it's just capitalizing
I
on
don't
a
know that
tragedy.
they had to factor it in. I think they have a team whose job it is to take care of those things.
It is. No, it is.
You know, like,
but
I don't think the town had to adapt.
no.
to
The
his
town
presence.
didn't. But I mean, the motorcade, the presidential motorcade, is like 10 vehicles long,
Right.
and then the traffic, and then the photography. It just doesn't.
I don't know. I'm
help.
very much of the opinion that showing up does matter, even if it's just for a photo op, as opposed to and we're kind of going here, and I don't really care, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
but
let's.
as opposed,
I think
to,
we know where each other stand, so let's do
right,
it.
but that doesn't even really matter. I mean, we're talking about facts, not
You're still my
not
least favorite
opinions.
friend in comedy.
Sure, I in the way that it frustrates me when a particular party or a particular individual does not visit the border during the largest border crisis in the history of our nation. I think the contrast from that to, well, he came. I think that's what I'm appreciating. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
What I am appreciating is that he took the time to show up. Even if it is just for a photo op, even if it is just for the glory, that's still basing his whole daily schedule or multiple days of travel around visiting. And I don't know, I would actually be very curious to hear Joe's thought on this, because Joe is not a Republican.
Yeah.
Joe's a very liberal individual. I don't think he would mind me saying that. But he's from the town of Damascus. So I'd be curious if he actually appreciates a Republican's choice to visit his town.
It's not. I don't mind. I would have been just as angry if it was Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. I would have been just as angry about it.
Right.
Because,
and I agree with that.
And I'm not. I listen. I beat around the bush on here. I'm not a supporter of the Republican Party in its current state at all.
Right.
So like, it's not that. I just think it is tasteless, and like, I don't think it changes their day. They cancel one event in Pennsylvania because it's a battleground state to make a stop in Damascus or Asheville, wherever Trump went as well. And I don't think it changes their.
Here's the problem. I think what you're saying and what I'm saying are both correct. You know, like, yes, they did come, and that does matter, but they're not really helping much, and that also matters.
I feel like it hurts more than it helps. I feel like.
See, I don't know that I agree with that.
I feel like it does hurt more than it helps, and I think the right way to do it is hey.
I was confused by Damascus though, the choice for it.
I think it's because it was.
What I heard is because it's closest to his home.
It's probably easiest to access to. Truth be, like, logistically, it probably was the easiest one to access.
That's true.
Because it was affected enough to be like, hey, we're helping, but it also was not affected to the same extent as like.
Right. Total devastation.
Yeah. So like.
Well, I heard also it's close to JD's home because he's from West Virginia and he's from a small town there. So that would make sense that Damascus more closely relates to his upbringing than Irwin or Asheville, you know.
Could be.
Asheville's also a particularly blue area, and so he probably wouldn't be very welcome there. You know, he probably thought that small town Virginia would be a little more excited about his brother.
That's the flip side of the other thing.
Right.
It's like,
right.
Well, are you only going there because they support you? Or are you going?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Because, like, in my opinion, this is not a jab.
Trump did go to Asheville, though.
This is not no, he didn't. He went to Georgia. First of all, yeah, it was in Georgia.
I was told he went to Asheville.
No, he went to.
Oh.
I was thinking about that when you said it earlier. He went to I don't know the town in Georgia, and the town he did go to be fair.
See, there's a perfect example of why we shouldn't have this. I literally don't. Somebody said to me, multiple people have said to me that he was in Asheville.
How would he get to Asheville? Their airport's not working.
Yeah, it is. I think it is now.
Oh.
It probably wasn't for a couple of days. Oh, fun fact here too, just while we're talking about like personal connections to the whole thing. My girlfriend's sister is dating a football player for ETSU. They were on a charter bus going to Charleston, I think. Charleston. Passing through Asheville as the devastation's happening.
Shit.
And there is a crazy fucking account of either the head coach or one of the coaches. He did an interview with one of the local news stations about being on the bus and seeing the town of Asheville being destroyed around them as they're trying to make way to the other side of it to get through, and like water is coming up the side of the bus, and like it was bad. And they wound up housing them in the Asheville airport overnight. All the football players had to sleep in the airport, and then they made them go to Charleston the next day and play the game. And then on the way back, they had to go like the Winston-Salem up to Withville and
probably had to take a long way. Yeah.
8-hour trip.
Jesus Christ.
Crazy. And they, of course, had like no signal or no connection. So my girlfriend's sister was flipping the hell out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Not only does her family live there, her, all grandparents, her parents all live in. Now her boyfriend, who's normally out of harm's way in Johnson City, is on a bus in the middle of downtown Asheville during all this.
The thick of it all.
Yeah. Crazy.
Jesus.
Crazy stuff.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, fun times. Anyway, the other conspiracy theories, I don't know, man.
The lithium thing. Well, let's explain.
I don't even completely understand it, but I know that the bulk of it is like it was geoengineered to target.
There is that.
And then I did see another person. Now I didn't verify any of this, so
That's why it's fun.
I'm in my gray area. Yeah. I saw somebody like posting that there's not even lithium there, and I don't know if that's true.
I really don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know where these things start. I think that's the problem.
I think
all it takes is one person to say it.
A little person named Q starts all this shit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Brian Quinn from Impractical Jokers. Q. Anyway, he starts all this shit. I'm tired of him. Anyways,
that was a good joke. I like that.
One of the things going on is that people are saying that the company BlackRock, who
aren't they the people who own all the houses?
They own
country?
everything.
Yeah.
Literally the entire country and the government. Which that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
That's the Illuminati, essentially.
Essentially, yeah, it's like a very in-your-face, not at all secret society version of them. I mean, it's pretty easily accessible information that they own everything. They are the reason that the housing crisis, all of it. Yeah. Anyways, one of the theories going around is that the town of Chimney Rock sits on a hotbed of lithium, and that this has somehow been known for a long time, and that maybe there have been potential government offers in the past to buy up the town, and they've rejected it, and that during this crisis, Chimney Rock, as a town, it's a very small town, was completely washed away. Like there's very little trace of there ever being a town in this area. It's pretty wild, actually, when you see the things. But there are some homes still intact, higher ground and stuff. There's some businesses and homes still intact, or there's remnants of stuff still. What I heard was at some point, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, like after the flooding, there was a town meeting, and some government representative was present and explained to the town that you will not be able to return to your homes. You no longer own land. You know nothing. This is there's a term that I can't remember, and I would look it up.
Eminent domain.
Eminent domain. Thank you. Is what they claimed around this area, and get out basically. Like don't even bother trying to rebuild here. Because there is a hotbed of lithium under it, and it's in government interest or in BlackRock's best interest to obtain the property and mine it for the use of the lithium.
You don't need a natural disaster to do eminent domain.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
but I would say,
if that was true.
Again, now here's where it gets a little... For me, that right there, just that fact alone, is not outside the realm of possibility. No. That doesn't feel very conspiratorial to me. Where it gets crazy is what you're saying, where people go, well, the government or BlackRock or somebody
geoengineered the storm,
caused the storm to flood Chimney Rock to then make the offer or create the eminent domain.
Yeah, like
that's crazy.
That's insane. And like if this is true, if there's truly this much lithium, this much, assumably because of if you're going to geoengineer a fucking storm for it, it's billions, if not trillions of dollars worth of lithium.
Yeah,
they would just
take it.
Like, they would just be like, hey, here's a fucking million each.
I think my tinfoil hat argument to that, like if we had a real hardcore conspiracy nut in here, and I mean, on some degree I am, but I think the argument against that would be, yes, but why do it so blatantly and get the flack for it when you could hide it under this umbrella? I mean, I find it very similar to...
If it is worth, I'm just going to play full-on devil's advocate, okay? Yeah. If it is worth engineering a hurricane.
I'm not saying they did that, but
I know that. But I'm just like, if it is worth engineering a fucking hurricane over, how many people live in Chimney Rock?
They would just do it boldly.
How many people, like...
I don't know, a couple thousand?
Give them $1 million apiece. $1 million apiece.
Right.
If it's billions, because it has to be almost $1 trillion.
Those people probably wouldn't take it, though.
$1 million apiece, dude.
There's a lot of prideful hillbillies,
$1 million apiece.
I'm telling you,
it doesn't fucking matter. Eminent domain doesn't matter, dude. You don't have a choice.
I know, but I'm saying that the veil of the natural disaster would be an opportune time for a company like BlackRock.
Dude, if they go in offering $1 million people, there's going to always be people who are against it. But I would say, God, most people would be like, God damn, I wish I lived in Chimney Rock to get $1 million.
Sure. Most.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that would be so much better.
I know. It's a human thing. Like some people just don't want to leave their homes.
And I get that.
Their families have been there for thousands of years,
and
hundreds of
years.
I
respect that. And I respect that. But the thing is, the vast majority, the 350 million people who live in the country.
Yeah.
Let's just say 300. There's always going to be 50 million people who are like, ugh.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're getting $1 million to get out.
I don't know. It's a lot.
We got eminent domain, dude. I had a teacher. when I was in high school, and she lived in Johnson City. I know exactly where she lives. But they were like expanding the road, and they talked about eminent domaining her house, and they were going to offer her, I mean,
a lot,
nothing.
Oh,
I mean, they
really?
were going to offer her something,
they're just
but
kicking
like,
her out. Basically.
I mean, they have to offer you fair market value, but they determine what fair market value is.
Right.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not on the open market.
Yeah.
Which really determines fair market value. It's an appraiser. Which
it's kind of like when you go to a restaurant and they're like, "Oh, lobster's market price right now," and you're like, "Well,
what's market price?
who decides what the hell market price is?"
Buyers.
It's $80 a lobster.
Exactly.
What?
But like, I'm just saying, like, you can do it correctly, or you see these developers, like these people who like have a home and they get offered a crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
Just to.
Yeah.
Do it. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I think here's the particularly interesting thing about all of this is it's coming at a time where truly, just because of social media and the 24-hour news cycle, and I could go on, it is very fucking hard to make sense of any information anymore.
It is.
To know what is disinformation, what is outwardly false, like just completely nonsense, what is true, what is... I mean,
and now a word from our sponsor. Oh, I can't think of the name of it. Have you seen that one? There's that one fucking. There's that news website that is like, it breaks down.
Truth Social.
No, it's a true news. It's a true.
The real news. Yeah.
Infowars.com.
Yeah.
No,
they are turning the frogs again. That's true.
It is a true. It's a news website, but what it is, it takes articles that from like left leaning and from right leaning and like from more moderate, and it ranks them. Like,
there's
hey,
a few of those.
This is CNN, so it's left bias, or this is from Fox, so it's right bias.
There's
and
one,
then they kind of make their own articles.
Is it
from
called
both.
The Hill? I think is one news outlet that is like it's a.
I think that's a right one, isn't it?
There's one that they have two anchors, and one anchor is a far left liberal, and one is a hard right Republican.
I like that.
I appreciate
that.
Actually. I actually, at one point in our country's history, it was required that if the president was Democrat, the vice president had to be from the Republican Party.
I like that more.
I agreed. I
like
don't
that.
know why we stepped. Well, I know.
Well, actually, here's what I like more: a no-party system. And I'll tell you what I actually like more than left-leaning anchor and
moving to another country.
Right-leaning anchor. That's number one. You know what I like more? Keep your goddamn politics out of the news. Right. That's what I like more.
Yeah.
But
save it for here on this podcast.
Yeah.
That's where we're breaking the.
We do have the left-leaning anchor and the right-leaning anchor.
We pretty much have that here.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem. And back to what I was saying is that information is so hard to understand and to trust and to filter anymore. But I find the BlackRock, the lithium, even the storm seeding or cloud seeding, whatever, all of it is interesting to me in the way that this Diddy shit is interesting to me. In that
I still don't know that. You know what? I think they did geoengineer the storm to take attention away from Diddy. That's what I think it was.
Here's the problem with the Diddy.
I don't even know what's fact.
Because
Diddy. I know they found a bunch of dildos in his house now. I did see
hilarious.
that.
Well, here's the problem with the Diddy thing. First of all, I was curious about this, and this I can fact check personally because I'm the one who did this. I got to thinking about this the other day, and there's all the news is Diddy shit. Now it's hurricane stuff, but for a while now, it's been all Diddy shit, and Diddy's the next Epstein, and blah blah blah, and I kept seeing that, and it made my brain go, I wonder when the Epstein case broke. Just curious. Do you have any guess when the Epstein case really broke and hit the fan? Like when it really started?
It was 19, wasn't it?
It was August of 2020.
Yeah. I want you to know in my head, I was thinking we voted in 19, not 2020.
Right.
I don't know why.
So that means it's a couple of months before a major election.
Yeah.
The Diddy story broke around August of 2024. And I just refuse to fucking believe that that's coincidental. I really do. Like when the entire 24-hour news cycle has become consumed with this to distract from true information for both sides, I just think that I refuse to say that that's coincidental. But here's the interesting thing about the Diddy stuff is like, as I wouldn't necessarily call myself like a hip hop head, but like I love hip hop music. I'm very well versed in the history of it, and I understand it. And I know Diddy's place and everything. And if you're in that community, or if you consume any hip hop media, like the Breakfast Club, or these different podcasts, these different interview shows where they
thought you were talking about the movie for like 2 seconds.
No. There's a very popular podcast radio show called The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne, where they have hip hop icons and black media personalities in the room, and they interview them. And for 25 years now, for as long as Diddy's had any popularity, it has been pretty well known and pretty well discussed in interviews, in song lyrics, in diss tracks, that Diddy is a monster and has been in control of horrific things, and that he does borderline, if not complete outright homosexual things to other male entertainers in the black industry. I mean, that literally, there are songs from 25 years ago that talk about how Diddy's a monster. I'm not kidding. So when you look at that, that makes my logical brain go, well, then why now? Why would they wait until August of 2024 to make a move when it's been similar to the Cosby thing that comics knew?
Yeah.
Comics didn't fuck with Bill Cosby in the 80s. Eddie Murphy hated Bill Cosby.
What laws did Diddy? Right, I'm very ignorant to it. Okay, I don't give a shit.
Well, right now they have him for mostly human trafficking.
So it's like real shit.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. They found 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
I still don't understand why that's a crime.
It's just become a meme. It's not a crime. It's just a meme.
Dude,
I've already seen sets on like clips on TikTok, and there's already hilarious shit. I saw comics the other day who's like, "Do you have any idea how long it takes to go through one bottle of baby oil?" And he's like, "A fucking 1,000 bottles." And then I don't know if it was the same clip, but there was one guy who's like, he was like, 1,000 bottles of baby oil is very embarrassing to discover as a cop, because he's like, they didn't even take the picture with all the cops in front of the table of the shit they busted. And he's like, if there's one thing cops love to do, it's gather around a table of shit they busted and take a posed picture. And he's like, no cop wanted to stand with 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
I'd have done it. It'd been fun.
It's pretty funny.
It'd been fun for the memes.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, the Diddy stuff is just, it's crazy. And the names that are being tied into it is where it gets really interesting. Like, well, Jay-Z and Beyonce are the highest two profile that seem to be a huge part of his crimes and his allegedly wrongdoings.
Well, what does that have to do with politics?
Well,
because at least like with the Epstein stuff, they tied
with
Bill Clinton,
those two,
Donald Trump.
It doesn't necessarily. The Obamas attended Diddy's freak off parties for sure. There's photo and video of them.
Okay.
Ashton Kutcher, the list goes on and on.
Ashton Kutcher, I want to say something about Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher, I think he's kind of a piece of shit.
Okay, hold on.
I bet he is.
Because there's something here that is interesting that I don't see being talked about very much. And you may not remember this. Not that long ago, Ashton Kutcher went on the stand at I believe a federal level hearing to discuss this human trafficking app that he invented. He's in the tech world. What is now being said is that he and Demi Moore, both his wife, who were regular attendees at the Diddy thing, more than likely engineered this app to target human trafficking so that they could learn the algorithm and how to avoid
haven't heard that
repercussions.
Let me tell you why I think Ashton Kutcher is a piece of shit. And let me say this. I'm about to turn 29. I've been an Ashton Kutcher fan for almost 29 years.
Wow.
But let me tell you why I think Ashton
Bold
Kutcher might be a piece of shit.
This is ruining your life.
It is not. I mean, I think
it's going to be hilarious if you were just like, he was really rude to a McDonald's worker.
Generally. No, he was pretty shitty at a Burger King, though.
Yeah, it's not all these human trafficking crimes.
No, okay, so Ashton Kutcher has been very famously fighting human trafficking for a long... This is my conspiracy, okay? Yeah. Very famously fighting human trafficking, which is great. Mm-hmm. That is gold star times affinity for that.
Maybe.
However...
Unless there's an ulterior motive.
However, Danny Masterson got arrested for rape. For you know what I mean?
That 70 show.
Right. Got arrested for that. And then Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, who is his wife, by the way, now.
Demi Moore used to be.
Yeah. Mila Kunis, they went on the stand defending Danny Masterson after all this stuff had already happened. And it's like...
Point proven.
Buddy, like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not saying you, like, have to publicly condemn him because you don't know, but, like, you can't just outright defend him after spending the last 30 years of your life fighting human trafficking.
I think it's all from what they're saying. And here's the problem, and I believe this to be true, is that we will never actually find out the true list and the true. I mean, we still don't know who all went to Epstein's island.
Yeah, we
do. No,
we have the fucking list.
It's not a real list.
Is it not?
No.
Why?
It's definitely redacted.
Because Donald Trump's
on it?
Why
would they put that out? I'm sure he is. He flew on the plane a bunch.
He's on it.
Yeah, there's a bunch on there.
There's so many pictures. I mean, Bill Clinton's on it too.
Right.
Yeah, like I just played both sides of it. They're both on it. For sure,
if you're a person of power, particularly a president of the country, you're involved in some wicked shit along the way. For sure. I mean, there's no exception.
Yeah, there's shit that we don't know. I mean, they know about the aliens that I'm sure are here.
Agreed.
Talking about real. Think aliens are real?
Yeah.
Think they've been here?
Here's the I don't like the word aliens because I don't understand your definition of it.
Other people from Mexico. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yes, I think there's a fuck ton of them here.
I'm sorry.
I think there's a fuck ton of illegal aliens.
I apologize for that. That was a bad joke. It was like
it's funny.
You know, whatever. Like you were just.
Don't apologize for being funny.
You know, you were just teed up the fucking best you've ever been.
That's comedy. That's what we're here
for. So intelligence from another life form, from like another fucking
from another planet.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's inconceivable that
they've been here. Are we talking about they've been here?
Well, hold on. I don't think it's inconceivable that there's life that existed on another planet that is X amount of, exponentially more advanced than us when it comes to technology, that they can make their way here and we're yet to be able to make our way to them. I think that's plausible. What I think is more plausible is if you think of human evolution as a timeline, and that today we have smartphones and we're doing a fucking podcast. X amount of years ago, we had stone tools. On that same trajectory, on that same timeline, there will be a period when we have the ability to time travel.
No, I don't agree with that.
I do. I very much think
I don't think
that
the
at
physics
some
are you talking
point-
about backwards or forward?
both? I think that
Forward, sure. Backwards, no.
I think
It's
that
not how physics works.
I just disagree. I think that at some point we'll do, and if that is true, if you believe that at some point we would develop the ability to either time travel or just time manipulation, not necessarily time
manipulation,
travel,
I'll give you, which is forward.
Still, then that means that we exist on that same timeline, and so we would be potentially affected by that. So I think what's more likely is that it is some version of human beings from Earth that are either, and there's
Kinda
another
like Interstellar.
I think sort of that, but also I think more likely is that an ancient civilization was far more progressed in technology before a massive catastrophic event like a meteor impact or the Younger Dryas, which they know for sure happened and reset us back to the Stone Ages. The Younger Dryas impact is a
meteor.
We could go, it's a meteor. We could go real deep.
Fine.
They basically hit and reset humanity down to a couple thousand people after like existing huge populations all across the world. Meteor hits, we go down to stone tools and tribal warfare. We're a couple thousand people, and we've built our way back up. I think that's happened a lot. I think we get smacked and reset every.
I don't think they were so advanced though. Here's my argument.
I think they maybe and they left, and now they're coming back. That's
Okay. Here's my thoughts on like an alien life force. There's 100% no doubt in my mind that in our universe, there is another life, like much more advanced life force than us, and there's billions, right? The universe is infinite.
I think it's much more likely.
If the universe is infinite, which if it's not infinite, that's a whole other fucking existential conversation.
Have you ever seen the movie Krampus?
I have actually.
Okay, this is sort of a deep pull, but you've seen it, so you'll understand. At the end of the movie Krampus, there's a scene where, for anybody who hasn't seen it, it's like an anti-Santa movie.
Yeah.
It's like he's evil Santa.
Talking about with fucking what's his name? God damn it, he's so famous.
Yes, yeah, I know.
Ben
exactly.
from Parks and Rec. Scott.
Adam Scott.
Yeah.
Yes, Adam Scott Krampus movie. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's kind of corny, but it's supposed to be. It's good. Anyways, it's a Christmas movie. It's a horror movie. At the end, the family is encountering Krampus, and they get sucked into this portal, blah, blah, blah.
Like
and they're
snow
all,
globe, isn't it?
Yeah, right. So that's what I'm going to. So at the end, there's this fascinating ending that I think about all the time, where the camera pans way up into the sky and it pans out, and you realize that all of this chaos, this whole story that's taking place in the movie, is taking place inside this little snow globe.
It's like a simulation.
Right. And Krampus walks over to a shelf, sets it down, and as the camera pans out, you see thousands of snow globes everywhere. That, to me, is an accurate representation of what I think we're all experiencing, more so than
A simulation.
Not necessarily a simulation, but think about this for a second.
It's like a multiverse situation. Those are all all representations of another
universe. I've been playing, shout out to Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the fucking coolest game ever. I finally got it. I love Star Wars. I've always been a nerd. Bought this game, and I've been playing it all week, and I played a lot. And I'm so drawn into it, and I'm so sucked into it. And then yesterday, I decided to turn it off and go for a walk. So I'm walking outside.
Grass while you're out there.
Yep, touch a little grass. Yeah. Literally had this experience where I'm touching a tree, and I'm going, wow, this is fucking... And I'm in my brain, because I've been so in this game for so long, I'm like, this texture is unbelievable. This tree looks so real. Like, seriously, though, if you think about it for a second... I saw a very funny TikTok
yesterday. Like, I don't want to forget. Go ahead, though.
Here's the interesting thing. Inside of this game, there are mini games where I can play as the main character playing a game inside of the game.
Yeah.
It's not unfathomable to me that I am somewhere along that chain as well.
I get that.
If that makes sense.
I have so much to add.
If that makes sense.
I do want to say, you said, I can't believe these textures made me think of this TikTok I saw yesterday. There's this guy who is like, he has a lot of clips on like Instagram, TikTok, where he's like making these like crazy trick shots where he apparently like for a basketball, he'll like shoot it like at his hips and he'll pull up and like shoot up here.
Oh, I've seen that.
You've seen that?
Yeah, it's frustrating.
And somebody was like, people were talking about banning this in games, blah, blah, blah. And it cuts to him. He stitches it. He's like, am I about to get nerfed in real life? And it just made me laugh. Anyway,
pretty much.
Going back to the multiverse alien thing. So like the universe is truly infinite. There's got to be. And if it's not infinite, then what's bigger? And it's a whole existential crisis.
Yeah, try not to go there.
I've had many times. Which I'd rather not have right now.
Well, again, but similar to the flood reality thing that we're talking about, there are all of these grand scheme ideas, but you still have to raise your daughter. You still have to feed Olivia. You still have to go to work. You still have to, like, so I think sometimes we get so inundated with our daily things that we can't go there. I think it's good to go there sometimes. Yeah. But I think it's good to come back to, because some people just stay out there.
I've been there. I've been there. I've had some.
Fucking Brian Quinn. They just fucking they queue.
Is that really?
They just go queue. They
is
stay.
That real?
Out. No. Oh. I'm saying they go queue.
Oh,
they go up.
Yeah. I get it. That was a good callback. I missed it. Yeah.
It's all right.
Yep, not bad. I'm not good at
the
comedy.
audio will show that was a good call.
That was a very good callback. Yeah.
Anyways, they just joke at
I don't think we have. Aliens or like from people from another planet or whatever, beings from another planet. I don't think we have those on Earth in any capacity whatsoever. And the reason for that is just because how vast the universe is.
Like, why would they be here?
Not only why would they be here, how would they know we're here?
My response to that would be,
how would they get here?
If you had an ant farm in your room, the ants would never go, why is he looking at us? They're just being ants.
No, I get that.
They're just doing their shit.
Yeah, that's a very good argument to it. Like, we're not hurting anything yet.
Well,
other than ourselves.
All right, so while we're there, you don't know what kind of fucking can you've opened.
Space litter. Dude, you know what's on my fucking arm? Let's have this conversation.
So you said we haven't heard anything
for those who don't know.
Yet.
You're going to talk about that signal we got 30 years ago, aren't you?
No. I mean, we can talk about that too. What I'm going to talk about is how there was a massive, like, I don't even know the percentage, a huge, multiple hundreds of percentage increase of UFO, UAP, whatever you want to call it, sightings and interactions following the nuclear testing and the dropping of 2 nuclear bombs in 1945. Like, literally, what my brain interprets that as whoever is watching, whatever may be watching allegedly, is like, these fucking chimps are about to blow themselves up.
Okay. I got a counter argument for you.
Do you know, though, that nuclear buttons have been pressed at times throughout history to duds? Like, the nuclear buttons have been pressed, and as they are, technological systems fail miraculously. It happens all the time. That, like, there's interference from unexplainable EMPs. Things happen to where nuclear devices don't go off as intended.
Counter argument to what you're saying.
It does happen.
So you're saying that there was an increase in UFOs, right?
There was also a massive increase in technology and media.
40s through the 70s. Maybe, I don't even think it went through, it may not even touch the 70s whenever they banned nuclear testing. They didn't test them for as long as you want, like you would think.
No,
but let's just say 40s to 70s, right?
I would say, 1935 to 1970.
Think of how much, 1930s is way too early.
Roughly.
I would say 1940.
No, Alamos Labs is already being founded around 38, I think.
Yeah, so 38, that's what I'm just saying. The actual 30s. Testing the bombs, I would say 40.
Yeah.
So 40 to 70, let's just say 30 years. I mean, dude, think of all the technology that came out of World War II, Vietnam, Korea, all that stuff. Hey, and now they're testing it over the country. Like, they're flying these planes and these helicopters higher. And all these people see just little dots that they've never experienced before.
Let me tell you.
You know what I mean? Plus, War of the Worlds came out. Do you know the story? Hold on. Do you know the story of, like, when War of the Worlds came out?
Everybody thought it was real.
Everyone thought it was real. Yeah. That is so funny to me.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Shout out to Derek, the bartender at Blue Ridge. I fucking love Derek Morton. Yeah, I love Derek.
He's
so
one of my
much.
favorite friends on Facebook.
He's one of my favorite people ever.
And I do like
love
him in person as well, but he has a very good
turned me
social
on a
media
couple
game.
weeks ago. I was sitting at the bar, and he was like, "What you been up to?" And I said, "Well, I got this new job, and it's pretty chill. So sometimes I'm able to watch stuff on my phone while I'm working at work, and blah blah blah." And I was like, "I'm kind of just turning into an old white Republican dad. I'm just watching World War II shit all day. Literally, all I've watched for weeks is just Nazi shit." Big fan. Anyways,
Want me to tell you what I've been watching a lot of when we're not recording because I don't want to talk about it.
let me guess. Fucking, I don't know, Aquamarine or some gay shit.
Octonauts with my daughter. Yeah.
No. Anyways, so Derek was like, he's like, I got something for you, and I was like, please don't. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
I fucking go. When I find a rabbit hole, I just go. I can't help it. I'm fucking Mad Hatter. I just go. He introduced me to this channel. It's called World War Weird. Have you heard of this?
I have actually. I've watched a couple videos from him. Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, my algorithm
What
is
a channel.
my algorithm is troubled teen.
For anybody listening right now, I want you, if you're the least bit white,
That was a
Republican, or
good
old,
That was a good
I
joke.
want you
That
to
doesn't matter.
go look up World War Weird. It's videos about the obscure documents and the programs of the Nazis and some of the Americans.
Did you see the
It's crazy.
the Japanese testing facility during World War II? I can't think of what it's called.
I haven't
offhand.
watched that
Oh,
one yet.
it's
The
ooh.
first one I watched
I don't
was,
think I was on World War Weird, to be fair.
U-boats reporting sea creatures. Have you seen that one? Fucking fantastic. It's true. Here's the problem. It's true documents. It's 100% declassified true documents. All, whether it happened or not, the reports of these incidents are out there and they're true.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of reports during the late 30s, especially as German U-boats started to make their way out to the Atlantic and sink like the Lusitania and other ships, that they were attacked on several occasions by these huge sea creatures. And in some cases, they've deduced it to giant squid attaching themselves, thinking it's a whale. In one particular case that the video talks about, it's nothing like a squid. It's fucking crazy. It's actually crazy. There's some weird shit out there.
All right.
But it's like, it's like, did the crew just inhale noxious fumes while trapped in a submarine and they all tripped? Did they make it up to get leave? You don't know. Like,
I am of the belief that a lot of like supernatural stuff have an explanation.
Yeah.
Like has a very
Agreed.
legitimate explanation.
I also very much feel that there are creatures in the ocean that we just
I will,
encountered.
yeah, I will say that. With the ocean kind of all bets are off. Who the fuck knows what's down
Agreed.
there?
It's much like space where it's like, I don't know.
All bets are off. Like
Yeah.
the giant squid is hilarious. Like there wasn't a picture of a giant squid until like a lot more recent than like you would think.
They thought
like,
it was all like sailors' tales. Turns out they were all true.
Yeah, it was
They're
like
probably inflated.
40 years ago was like the first ever picture of a giant squid. It's like
The reality that a giant squid ever attacked a pirate ship and was shot with a cannon is pretty small. But the reality that a sailor may have seen a giant squid at some point is much more
Very
likely.
real.
And so then it's just like fishing stories. You leave, you catch a 2-inch fish. By the time you get back to the dock, it's 8 inches.
yeah.
Story of my life. But I'm just
you
saying.
beat me to
it. I saw you going there.
You saw the gears turning
Yeah,
to make
I
it
don't
funny.
know what the fuck this episode's been, but it's interesting.
I like this episode.
This episode is just called Random Shit.
I like this episode a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do want to kind of housekeep a little bit because we haven't talked about this, but in case we don't work it out, there's going to be 2 weeks in November that I'm not going to be available to record.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to, if schedule
Try to bank
allow,
'em.
we're going to try to bank them. If not, it might be Nathaniel with whoever episodes or
Yeah.
just nothing for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So
we'll do something.
apologize. My wife and I are taking our honeymoon 5 years after we got married. So
Oh,
that's
shit.
cool. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's a cool story. I think it's a cool story. So we got married in 2019. We paid for the whole wedding ourselves. So
Yeah.
we couldn't afford to
$400.
take a trip. I wish. Dude, I fucking wish. $400 to spend more than that on the catering for the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'd always talked about taking a trip to Europe. And we weren't able to do it in 2019 cuz we just paid for the wedding and just
I hear Yemen is really nice this time of year. You should check it out.
Lebanon. We're hitting up
Israel's
We're hitting
beautiful.
up. We're actually hitting up Israel, Ukraine, and Russia.
Yeah,
Those are the
Ukraine is.
three
I
places
hear
we're
it's a
going.
paradise.
Yeah. But so we couldn't go in 2019. 2020, the fucking world shut down.
Yeah.
2021, I was unemployed for part of, and we couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
She was pregnant in 2022. We just had a kid in 2023. So
Here we are.
Here we are, 5 years after we got
And
married.
what perfect timing. I mean, you'll get to see the world right before it no longer fucking exists. Isn't that awesome?
No, we're going right after the election.
Do you know? Let me ask you this.
No, I've been making the joke. We're leaving like 3 days after the election, and I'm
Pretty
like,
funny.
yeah,
We're not coming back.
getting the fuck. And our daughter's staying here, so we gotta
I'll
come
raise her.
back. Yeah, she loves you more than me, apparently.
That's true. That
Yep.
is very true.
Yep.
Yeah, today before we recorded, Michael told his daughter that he loved her, and her response was no.
Yep. Blew Nathaniel a kiss right before all of that, so that was
so
cool.
true.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
she's the best. I get abused. She'll punch me in the face every day.
No.
Yeah. There's nothing like a toddler who
Real quick,
abuses
I
you.
want to share something that I learned recently, and this is very much a rabbit hole. This is not QAnon, but it's out there. There's some truth to it though, and just like all those things, it's rooted in truth, and it's just crazy. Here's what I want to share. Are you familiar with the Epic of Gilgamesh? Does that ring
Epic
any
of
bells at all?
Gilgamesh.
Yeah. Epic
That's
of
like
Gilgamesh.
a god or something, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's an old ancient story about a god named Gilgamesh, who was, I believe it's 1/3 human, 2 parts god is his origin. And he's like 17 feet tall in the story and all this stuff. And he rules over basically Mesopotamia, like the Tigris River, Euphrates.
Okay.
Thousands of years older than
I
the
was
Bible.
trying to think of how that works.
It's so old. The tale is so old.
I was
and
trying to
it
think of like
has
how third human works, like genetic
orgies,
wise.
man. Things happen. Anyways.
How sperm works, but go
Things
ahead.
get mixed. Anyways, he allegedly, according to the tale, which is thousands of years older than the Bible, the Torah, all of it. It's so old. And,
Yeah.
But there's many similarities to other, like the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, all have stories of a great flood. They all have stories of, great famine, of locusts, all these things. All of that is present in the Epic of Gilgamesh. They think that it's probably the source of a lot of modern religion, is this tale. Anyways, according to the legend, the epic, whatever it is, he is buried in a very specific spot under the Tigris River in modern-day Iraq. And that there was in the tale, you can kind of deduce roughly where he was at. Okay. Then fast forward, that's thousands and thousands of years ago. Fast forward to not that long ago, like maybe 20-something years ago, there's an archaeologist studying this particular area and using very new at the time technology, LiDAR, that they now use in the Amazon and shit to find stuff underground. Reflective bounce technology to find structures underground. They've used it in the pyramids, blah, blah, blah. This archaeologist discovers what he believes is the tomb of Gilgamesh under the Tigris River. And according to the dimensions, according to the location, everything lines up to the epic, to the legend. And he thinks he's found it. Like, I don't remember the exact date. He makes it public. He goes public with this and says, I think I've found it. We're going to begin excavation. That is roughly, I believe, like July of 2001.
Okay.
X amount of a couple months later, 9/11, the U.S. invades Iraq. The first decree is all foreign archaeologists, even American archaeologists, anybody digging, anybody searching, get out. Get out of the country. It's a war zone now. Get out. The U.S. builds a base around this area where he's gone public and said, this is the tomb of Gilgamesh. I've found it. And there's all these local reports you can read of people saying that the U.S. military came in and that for months on end, they would dig through the night and trucks would leave with artifacts. Leave this base and go and go and go and go. That's what I learned.
That's it.
That's it. That's literally it. And there's no ending to it. There's no confirmation. There's no nothing. But, I mean, all of...
That was like one of your jokes, just like a lot of build up and no punch.
And no punch, yeah. It felt very much like my
that
newest
is interesting. I've never heard that. That is very interesting.
I found that very interesting because I think that it's very much like it gets coined as like pseudoscience a lot, but like Graham Hancock and that lane of archaeologists and scientists think that there's a lot more truth in ancient tales and quote unquote myths than modern historians are really willing to admit.
I get that.
Right, because for a long time we were an oral species. Like we didn't write shit down. We didn't know how to write. Yeah. So we would pass
Still
down
an oral
these
species,
legends.
if you know what I mean. Oh!
Don't give yourself a round of applause. That is so gross.
Sorry.
Some of us more than others. Hey, all right.
Oh, I didn't know it played two at the same time. I didn't know you could do that.
We're
That's
really
cool.
60 episodes in. We're learning this soundboard, folks.
Yep. I really didn't know you could play two at the same time. That's really cool.
Yeah, pretty neat. Anyways, there's our final check box on the
Random
most
shit.
chaotic episode.
Random
of all
stuff. I don't
time.
think you can
Yeah.
cuss in titles.
Let's just call it nonsense. Honestly,
I say random
truth
stuff.
and
I
truth
say-
and nonsense.
We talked about the hurricane for a while. I don't
Brian
want to say
Quinn.
nonsense. Brian Quinn.
Shout out
I hope people don't think that. We have him.
that he's our next. Don't worry, no one thinks that Brian Quinn's
Yeah.
our next guest.
Somebody will.
Nobody.
Yeah.
There's
This
only
is
3
fun.
people listening at this point.
No, we get more than that on Spotify alone. I don't know. What
I don't
YouTube
even know
does.
what our numbers are. Let's talk about it later. Because it's kind of sad and I don't want to say it right now.
Not great.
Yeah.
Man, we're doing this for fun.
Speaking of that, if you're listening right now, share this and
Yeah, we've been
tell
very
people
bad
to
about telling. Like,
press play.
yeah.
Even if you
Download it.
just press play and
Just
walk into the
download
other
it.
room, who
You
cares?
can just download it. That counts. On
Download it.
Spotify, just download.
Sure.
That counts as a play.
Just click download.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
Just to follow the thing and it'll automatically download. So whenever you get on a
If
plane,
you guys support the show
something to listen
more,
to.
Michael, his daughter might actually love him, and
Maybe,
that's what
maybe,
we need is for
maybe.
his daughter to love him. And
That would be
remember, serious real estate questions only.
Yes. All right. So Michael Rose Comedy, Instagram, and Threads. I don't use it ever.
Yep.
NLB _
Nope,
Did you change it?
wrong. I'd like to make this announcement. This is a Talkin' Bits exclusive.
Did you change it finally?
As of this week, you can find me at Booher Comedy on Instagram
Fuck yes. In
And-
Booher Comedy.
and TikTok
Instagram and TikTok.
and Gmail if you want to just send me a Gmail.
Yeah, if you want to email me, that Michael Rose Comedy is my Gmail
Yep.
address.
Send it on over.
Yep. Don't tell Tri-Cities.
That's right. Don't tell Tri-Cities.
I'm
I
putting
said it
together
during
some
the
good shows soon.
I said it during the show. I'll say it again. We had a lot of people turn out for those cave shows in the midst of literally the worst hurricane, the most devastation to ever happen to our area. We still sold it out. We had a packed fucking show, a great
was
lineup.
fun.
It was crazy. It really blew by. I mean, it was so labor intensive that I didn't really get to soak it all in. But such a huge thank you to everybody who came out. Thank you to the Caverns also.
I
for
noticed
having us.
one flaw in the show. and
There's
I'm,
a lot. Of
I'm going to tell you
flaws.
one flaw that you would not have thought of, period.
Okay.
I was working the door because I'm a good friend.
That's true.
You owe me a sticker, by the way. You did tell me you're bringing me a sticker.
Oh, shit.
Still don't
Yeah.
have it. I did
got
notice one
50
legit
of them.
flaw. So people, a lot as women would come not knowing it was in a cavern until day of, and they didn't think about it, and they would wear like heels. And
I
like,
didn't see any heels.
oh yeah,
I was
they-
worried about
a lot of
heels.
them changed because like they'd
Oh.
walk up and like I saw this one chick, she had like heels, not like heels on, but like wedges or whatever.
Yeah, she
like,
ain't going down.
not good. And I was like, hey, like just want to let you know,
Little
like it's
slippery.
pretty steep and slippy.
Mhm.
And she was like,
Well, it's not normally
"Ooh."
that slippery.
That'd have been good to know. Yeah, because
That's
of the
part
rain.
of it is a hurricane.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree. And we wound up releasing the location a couple days early, and they sent out an email to all the ticket holders. So that lady just didn't.
It's
check
on
her
her.
email.
Yeah.
She just didn't check her.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny.
Which is fine. No, there's a lot of things to improve, but we did the show, and I said it during the show. I'll say it again. A lot of people came out for the first time, and I'll just be honest, future shows might disappoint for a while.
Yeah.
We're not. The next one's not in a cave. It's not in a
No.
slightly bigger cave.
It's underneath the waterfall.
Yeah, it's not. No, we're the next one is in downtown Irwin, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be really good. That got him. I knew that'd get him. No, it's gonna be. We're gonna keep going. We're not done. That was obviously a milestone for us. That was something I've planned for going on a year now. Going on a year, but I don't know what's next. We'll find out. For now, we're getting back to the basics. We're going back
Yep.
to the place we started this upcoming Saturday.
Oh, that's cool.
We'll be back in our very first venue. We love them. We're happy to be back. And amazing female headliner from Atlanta that I've been talking about for 6 months because we've had to move her around. But she's coming for sure. We've got
Awesome.
her. That's very exciting. So don't tell Tri-Cities. Follow us there and Talkin' Bits Pod.
One
on
last
Instagram.
thing,
Yeah.
just to kind of give you praise. That Saturday, that last cavern show,
Yeah,
you sold out while Dusty Slay was in town,
that's true.
and that's really cool.
While Dusty Slay was in town and Helene was in town also. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you see Dolly Parton singing Helene, Helene?
No,
Rough. Pretty rough.
it's
She followed
She
it with a
donated-
donation of
she
half a million.
donated. No, she donated 2 million,
2 million,
total. So
yeah.
like, all right, that's fair.
You can sing it.
yeah.
But she's saying
Yeah.
Helene.
Morgan Wallen
Helene.
donated 500,000.
Saw
Yeah,
that.
thought that was kind of cool.
It's crazy what you can do when you just say the N-word openly.
Yeah. Kayla saw him 2
a
weekends
sweetheart.
ago in Knoxville.
Did he say it to her?
No. Well, she didn't see. I mean, she saw the concert.
Be pretty funny if he just came out and opened with it.
That'd be
I feel as
Playing
though
to his
his
base.
fan base would
playing to his base.
respect him for it.
Yeah. Not Kayla. She wouldn't have been about it. Anyway, we love you all.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.